Hey guys, you're listening to the Sistership pod with Dami
and Korede.
Hey guys,
What's good?
what's good in the hood? We're back for another episode.
Indeed,
guys, I love that
are.
we're actually being consistent.
You have to be so proud of us, because if you're not, Omar,
I think we've only had 1 week where we had a little
blip.
yeah.
But we try to keep it like
We did.
as close to our usual release timetable as possible. But man, it's been busy. Like the last week and a half, I think, has been so hectic. Like back to back to back. To back
I'm looking at you because your weeks have been intense. Not really mine.
I'm just so mad because this was meant to be a week of rest, like the week that we're recording.
It's so
but
true for you.
it's like it's been so active, but in a different way. So like it hasn't really been work related, although I should have spent some time
Doing
prepping
work.
for work.
Yeah.
There's been so much social activity, but like I don't know.
Oh, we had Brenda's birthday.
Recess land.
Oh yes. See, that's guys. I'm not really in the room.
Do you know what I mean?
I haven't been in the room for like 3 months.
That weekend was quite
My short-term memory
heavy.
is tired.
And then obviously you had an exam.
Yeah.
I've been at uni, not at uni as well. I've got a big assignment due. So like my brain and
It's
your
all like
brain
guns
is all in
blazing
a,
now. It's the end of
it's
like
the end
the
of the
academic year.
year.
That's when it starts to get a bit like, I'm
the pressure's
skating
getting
on
worse.
thin ice.
Yeah, the pressure gets worse. But praise God, like we're
Depression,
nearly
guys,
there.
we're rebuking it.
We're nearly there. So like God has definitely been gracious in this time.
Yeah, he has.
And has seen us through so much. So it's just that final push and
Final
maintaining
push.
that like momentum, because the momentum can really dwindle when it gets to this
man.
stage. So yeah, we're close to the finish line, man. Just gotta keep going.
Praise God.
But
I mean, at least you are.
Yeah.
Jesus. Thank God. So how can you, guys, this girl, we started uni together. She finished uni. Me, I'm still at uni. She came back, did another degree, and I'm still going to be there when she graduates.
The life of a medical student is
It's
so
not fair.
funny.
It's not fair.
It's so funny, but the rewards that you reap, it's going to be fair then. Then you really know that it's going to be fair.
It better
So don't
be. It
worry,
better
man.
be.
Don't worry, your time is coming. But literally, like, it's insane.
Yeah, I think we're happy that the end of the week is here.
Same.
Your deadline is nearly here. You're nearly done.
Freedom. I can almost taste it.
What's new for me? Oh, no, nothing.
Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. I have one big goal that I want to achieve by the end of this month. So let's hope that
We're praying towards that.
that needs to come into fruition.
Yeah, we pray towards that.
But yeah, that's a little recap on our week, guys. You know we love a little recap.
Yeah, reflection moment.
Yeah, reflection. Recap, reflection. Anyways, yeah, I think today we wanted to talk about a topic that is very common. Well, not common. It's a big thing in our culture.
Yeah.
It's a big thing in how we've been brought up. And I saw, obviously, guys, you know the general election is coming up.
Yeah, man. 4th of
kind
July.
of been looking at.
It's 4th of July or 9th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July.
Okay, cool. That's Independence Day,
Good
isn't it?
question.
Well, it's early July. I know it's the first week of July, Sha.
I believe it is the 4th of July. It must be the 4th of July.
Yeah. So interesting that they choose Independence Day in America.
Thursday. General election is normally on a Thursday.
Yeah, so that they can let us know by Friday who we've got.
So
in
it will
power.
be on the 4th of July.
Calm.
And obviously everyone's reading manifestos and the politicians are bringing out their mandates and what they want to bringing out their manifesto, and what they want to kind of do for the people that are going to vote for them. So I saw Rishi Sunak saying something about Mickey Mouse degrees, and an article that I saw, someone responded to what Rishi said, and the person wrote, Rishi is right, my Mickey Mouse degrees were a total waste of my time. And
I guess it sparked
a lot of discourse on social media.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because
Mickey Mouse degree. What is meant by that, first of all?
Like,
let's define it. Let's see if we can find anybody like making a list of some sort, because that is so
definition.
funny. Yeah.
It's so loaded. I think it, without me looking at like the definition, I think it means like a degree that doesn't really hold much weight in the eyes of a capitalist society.
Okay, so there's even a Wikipedia page, guys, that is so funny.
Okay.
For Mickey Mouse degrees or Mickey Mouse courses is a term for university degrees or courses regarded as worthless or irrelevant. It originated from the Minister of State for University, so Margaret Hodge, using it in a discussion on higher education. This lady, Dame Margaret Hodge.
Did she ring a bell? Really.
She was in office years ago. This is like some like 2010, 2015 times. But yeah, so that's where it originated, and the phrase took off in the late 1990s as the Labour government created a target for having 50% of students in higher education by 2010.
Okay, this makes sense.
It's actually something that
stems on socialism.
It stems much further than
that's what I'm saying, because I've never heard of it up until now.
But it's definitely been something that's been said. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never heard of it up until now.
So there are some A-level subjects and soft options that are considered Mickey Mouse courses, A-levels in general studies. Like there was a general studies A-level, that's one of them, thinking. Or critical thinking.
That's triggering for some.
It might be, honestly. And
then a lot of unis were saying, critical thinking wasn't accepted.
They don't consider it, exactly. So
okay, now it's all making sense. It's giving context.
So seeing people talk about that now. Or saying that they're going to be another lockdown on those things is an interesting thing to see, because I don't know.
I feel like we underestimate some of those degrees and some of what they bring to society. I was saying to Korede, growing up, well, from in a Nigerian household anyway, I know a lot of people can resonate with this. A lot of those Mickey Mouse degrees were deemed as they're not really jobs that are going to bring in money when you graduate. They're not really degrees that are upstanding.
There are very few degrees in, I guess, a cultural context that are considered worthy or worthwhile, going to uni for. So that would be medicine, law. I'm trying to think now.
Accounting,
engineering, architecture, and so on and so forth. I
think PPE is good. PPE. I think even that's a newer thing.
I would say that PPE is still considered a softer subject, because it's you end up in a, more likely than not, if you're going to do politics, you're going to end up in public office as opposed to a private firm. So if you're going to work for the government, you're going to make no money. It's basically as a civil servant, you don't make as much money as somebody that works in the private sector. So I feel even then it's still a little bit on
the softer side. No, I hear it. I agree.
A lot of the time, I think with Nigerians as well, it's those jobs that are those subjects rather that are vocational, that are worthier, if that makes sense. You're going to have a job when you graduate. You do medicine, you become a doctor. You do law, you're going to become a lawyer. You do the ones that have a vocation and there's a career
at the end of it,
clear career at the end of it, are the ones that make the most sense. They're not less considered a waste of your time. Exactly. There's less flexibility in when you get to uni, you might try different jobs, try your hand at different jobs. There's no guaranteed role at the end. You might those things are not really rated as highly. That's the general, obviously. That's the general
gist of culture. Not even I think African and Asian households, I think it's a very big thing.
I think it might be rooted in the in a migrant's mindset. You want to be comfortable and want to be in a position where you can say, I'm definitely gonna have a job. I don't want to be at risk of not earning, because that means that I'm in trouble because there's gonna be no way out. Do you know what I mean? If I don't find a way to pay these bills, so let me only do the jobs that are one, high paying, and two, are secure jobs. And the rest, miss to the wayside. So I think that's a lot of that is what I guess a lot of our parents' mindsets are rooted in, but it can be quite toxic.
It
can a lot of the time, and it stifles, I think, your dreams and aspirations, because what's to say that something that is an art-based subject or a social science can't do things for you and can't take you places, particularly if it's something you really enjoy. You're gonna want to do it so much more, so you're more than likely going to do better at it, and therefore find yourselves in positions where you feel fulfilled when you're working. Do you know what I mean? So it's a weird one, because I hear what our parents are saying, but man, oh man, I don't know, like, can you attest to that? Because obviously you do study now a subject that is considered would be considered more worthy than others. Like, what was your journey getting there in terms of your relationship with your parents and stuff?
So I guess I'm lucky in the sense that my mum never pushed me to study medicine. My dad never pushed me to study medicine. They were just happy for me to go to uni. And they were of the mindset that they would like for me to do something that would ensure that I get a job at the end of it. But it wasn't like, you have to do medicine, you have to do engineering, you have to become a lawyer. Like, I think it was just my mum's luck that I had a love for medicine. And I think she always trusted me when it came to education anyway, because I did really well in school, guys. So she never really had to I think she always thought in her mind, okay, this child will probably end up doing something really good. And with my siblings as well, they were like higher than average in school. So it was kind of easy for us to, like, in the educational realm of things, I didn't really have to deal with the pressure of parents wanting me to do a degree that I didn't want to do. I think I was saying to you that growing up, you obviously hear about, we would love for you to do this, would love for you to become a doctor, would love for you to become a lawyer. So I don't think I really understood the importance of creativity or how far creativity could take you, because we didn't really have social media like that. And we didn't know how far social media would go, because obviously you can't see into the future. And outside of social media anyway, I didn't really take in how important creativity is in our normal lives and our normal day-to-day. Like, the people that have designed the buildings, the people that have designed things that we, like the infrastructure that we use every day, there has to be an element of creativity to what they do. And I think it's only now that you're basically a creative, I'm kind of a creative, that I'm actually seeing like there's power in doing the arts.
That's
like
cool.
Especially even like looking at Nigeria, the country that we come from, and seeing the amount of people, the amount of creatives in that country that have come so far because of their creativity. It's just like, why wouldn't you want to encourage that type of passion or verve in someone? Like, go to uni and study that, go to uni and be great in whatever you do. I think one thing that we tend to do in our culture, or the cultures that we're speaking about, is attach our worth to our education. Like, yes, me being a doctor is nice and it's great, but it doesn't, if I don't become a doctor tomorrow, it doesn't take anything away from me.
Yeah, true.
I'm still my own person. I'm still who I am, regardless of whatever accolades I have.
It's true.
And I think it's only from me going through the degree and seeing what the degree can do to people that I've been like, yeah, I don't want to die on the line because I'm a doctor. Like, there's so much more to life than me being a doctor, me being a lawyer, me being an engineer. Me and the next person who studied arts and humanities, like, we both have, well, we are both worthy of living. We are both worthy to be a part of society. So yeah, that was kind of like my thoughts and feelings on the whole like Mickey Mouse thing. I thought it was kind of disrespectful, but you know the Conservatives, you know how they be. There is no regard for like whatever doesn't fit in line with their outlook on life.
It's true. I mean,
guys, that was such a spiel.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna go back to like talking about our parents anyway. So you've spoken about how your parents didn't really push you. I think similarly, I think my parents are scientists by trade. So that's what, I mean, they went to university to study. That is their area of expertise. And would I say I was scientifically inclined? Probably. I was always just like, growing up, I was like, I'm not doing it because my parents did it. I don't want to follow in their footsteps. Yeah, I was quite hard-headed. Like,
I
was like, I'm not doing it. I'd rather do something else. So
why was that? You just decided that you didn't want to do it?
No, because when like I would study and stuff, they would always be like, oh, you know, you've got resources here, why don't you use them? I'm just thinking, please let me do my own thing. And they were very good at letting me do my own thing. And it's like, I obviously went to I went to sixth form and did a humanities heavy diploma. So like I did the international baccalaureate, I did the IB. So I had to study. Are so smart. I couldn't. I had to study everything. So that would have been my 13th reason why. Yeah, no, it was not easy. I had to do maths, I had to do English, I had to do a science. But like you could pick to do it at higher level or standard level, then you'd have to do a humanity, you'd have to do a language. But like I decided to do my higher subjects were like economics, English, and geography. At first it wasn't English, at first it was French, so I started with French and then I changed because it was just like, this French thing, man, it wasn't really sticking the way I wanted it to. So I did French at a standard level, and continued with that into year 13, and then did higher English. So it was a humanities heavy diploma, if that makes sense, with geography, economics and English, and it really left me to do my own thing.
You did geography? Yeah, I did
geography higher level. Yeah, I enjoyed geography.
It's a science though.
It's a science, but it's a more social science, because
then, like,
we did
biology, chemistry.
We did or a softer science, if you will. I guess it's a softer option. But it was in the humanities.
Geography is a nice subject.
It was in the humanities bracket anyway when we were selecting. It wasn't in the science block. So I then went to uni to do politics and economics, which again is not like something that is considered a necessarily rigorous course. It's not an easy course, don't get me wrong, but it's not like it's not, I guess, seen in the same light as some of your other subjects, like your STEM degrees. And then I just think, like, I don't know, my parents were never like, oh, you have to do anything, you have to do this, you have to do that. They were very much, let me on my own, you can do what you want as long as you're doing something. You can't just go about life aimlessly. Just think about what it is you want to do and just tackle that head on. And then I think, like, when I finished my degree, I realized it wasn't really for me. And I wanted to tap into the more creative side of me. Worked there, and again, they were still very like, they were fine with it and supportive. I think there are a lot of people that I might have looked at it, like uncles and aunties and outsiders, and been like, your parent, my mum works in education. You also have very, very like your parents' background, education,
upstanding figures in society. Like, what are you on? Like, what are you on?
They've gone and done something that's going to ensure that's going to secure their futures and their livelihood. So what are you doing? You're just going about anyhow. But I guess that's their pride is that were able to create an environment where I could explore my interests. And honestly, like, I cannot thank them enough, because if I didn't have a choice, then I would have had to go and do something that was, I don't know, science related or so that I could, as soon as I'm done, I'm going straight into the working world, and this is going to be it. Bish bash bosh. Like, Bob's your uncle. Like, there would have been no choice. But I am so lucky to have had a choice by virtue of, I guess, the environment that they've created, the supportive system that they've created, that has allowed me to explore it. My parents' philosophy is do what you like as long as you're the best at it. Don't care.
Literally, like, guys, like, this why we're doing this together. I was literally gonna say, like, I think with Korede, or like with what your parents did, and even my parents are quite similar. Like, be the best at what you can do. Like, that's the vibe I get from your parents. Like, if you want to do that, do it. That's cool. But make sure you're the best at it, because I see that in your parents as well. Like, they're the best at what they do.
They don't play.
And I think there's so much, I guess. Can I say we're talking from a place of privilege?
We are.
I mean, yes. Yes.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. I think
talking from a place of privilege. You're talking from a place of privilege. We're lucky in a sense that our parents were going to support us with whatever we decided to do. And even if they weren't, well, for me anyway, even if my mom wasn't happy with it, she would still be supportive, because I know, like, I took a gap year before I did medicine, and I remember going to get my results because I had to resit my exams, guys. It was a gap year because I had to resit my year 13. And I remember her on results day telling me, like, don't even worry if you flop. Like, I've seen you put in the work. You're good. Like, it doesn't reduce our relationship
at all. Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of you. Whatever happens,
so
happens.
Sweet.
And I remember bursting into tears when mom said that to me, because I'm someone, I feel like I was
you put pressure on yourself.
Yeah. And I wanted to please my mom, because I wanted to do medicine. She didn't want me to do it. So she's like, well, the least I can do is make it work.
Yeah.
So for her to say that was so like, what's the word? Heartwarming.
Yeah.
And I think I'm lucky in the sense that I have parents, especially my dad, like, my dad is gonna support whatever I do.
Listen, they are your biggest fans.
If I'm good at it, he's gonna encourage it. Like if I'm not the best at it, he might be like, okay, maybe you want to try something else. Maybe you want to try this.
Yeah.
But I think we're really grateful that we've had that type of push in our education, or like how we've ended up. And I think it kind of encourages us for when we have children.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I want my kids to have a feel for everything. That's why I love that you did,
bro.
Everything.
If I begin to list the extracurriculars that my mum had me doing, I went to chess club, I went to swimming, I used to go dance, I used to play 2 instruments. She used to carry my brother to football. My dad would carry my brother to football. My brother would do guitar. He would play the drums.
My brother used to do everything. My mum used to take Darren
even
to
if
football.
if you want to read, let's go to the library. It's like it was always something. Like it was always something. I literally had like a weekly timetable, my after school activities, my Saturday Sunday activities. Like it was always something, and I would try my hand at everything just so that I could get a feel and figure out, okay, this child is good at this, she's not so good at this, she's all right at this, she enjoys this. She would always encourage it. Like your summers, you were doing a little something, like a little summer activity, and keeping yourself busy and discovering your likes and your dislikes and your hobbies, and trying to work out what they might be. Because I don't know, like the education, like you said, is always put on a pedestal, and then we almost, like you said, create our person around our education and our academic worth. Whereas it's like there's almost so much more to a person outside of them being at school. Yes, we do spend a lot of time at school, don't get me wrong, as kids. Like we spend so much time in the classroom, but you do have that time outside to try and like find something else and nurture some sort of like hobby or what you're excited about. I mean, it was so interesting because we also saw the guy that was playing chess, and like we saw his dad speak about how he used to treat him when he was younger, when the boy all he wanted to do was play chess. He used to lock the boy's chess pieces away and tell him, there's nothing in this, go and study. Like I'm not like, you know, the parents were like, I'm not sending you to school to go and play chess. That's not what I'm sending you to school for. So it's like,
and they were poorer
exactly
than, I guess, us. And I think that's why I'm kind of saying, because we both agreed at the time, like we're speaking from a place of privilege.
Absolutely.
Like, we saw the backlash that his dad got, and it was like, I felt like the backlash was undeserved. Like I understand why people got onto him, but at the same time, you need to understand these people are living in like the slums of Nigeria. They're living in a house that's like, your neighbor is literally directly across from you, maybe like 5 feet from you, not far at all. Those are the type of parents that are going to push their kids to do something that is going to be fruitful. That's going to 100%.
That almost
guarantees them leaving the slum.
As opposed to something that could be seen as just a hobby.
Do you get it? And the dad was very reflective. The dad was very much like,
he really tried to say,
if I could go back in time, I would have encouraged it.
And he said to parents, like, please, if there's something that your kid likes to do encourage them to do it as much as you can.
Because you never know where it will take them.
Because it is that enjoyment and that zeal for something that's going to make you do really well and keep practicing and keep trying at it.
You're
so if you do have the resources to encourage it alongside, of course, getting an education up to when you need to, then please, like, by all means, you should do it. Being a well-rounded individual is so much more worthwhile than just being
someone who can read books.
That
doesn't do anything for society. You need to be able to think outside of the box.
The Labour government have encouraged everybody to go to uni, so everybody's got a degree. What else are you outside of having that degree? Like, you need to have more.
These are what employers are even going to be looking at.
The game has changed though. The price of the brick is going up. You cannot survive just having a degree and saying, yep, I've got my qualification. And what again?
And what
again? Like,
where's
please.
That video?
That guy that was in the car with his...
The guys are going to include that.
The guy that was I think he was in the car with his dad, and he was telling him the postcode. And what again? But nonetheless, like, I think is this a message for us or is this a message for our parents? I don't know, because we do have some mummies that listen to us.
For both.
I think it's so important to, I mean, it is a message for future us as well when we do have children. That like the amount of, I guess, pressure and importance that you lay on education, don't get me wrong, it shouldn't dwindle, but like there should also be a freedom in exploration. There should be a freedom in sort of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for,
encouraging hobbies.
In like becoming a whole person.
Yes, becoming a whole person.
And like as best we can, we need to rid ourselves of the mindset that I guess our grandparents had and our parents had, that I guess was a survival mindset where it's like you have to do these in order to survive and get by. You can survive and get by because every person is needed. Like there's a puzzle in society where everybody fits in and everybody can add value.
Preacher, go on.
Come on, man. And everybody can add value. So like, you know, like, there's a lot of unlearning that needs to be done, and there needs to be more caution in the way that we talk about people's livelihoods, because at the end of the day, what do you mean by Mickey Mouse? You look like Mickey Mouse. How about that?
Like Mickey Mouse that everybody watches is what you're using to abuse somebody and call them worthless.
Don't mind them.
Mickey Mouse is not a worthless person in society.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's a nice short episode, to be fair. Like, I don't think there's much more to say. I feel like we've hit the nail on the head, but if there's anything you guys think we're missing, let us know. Seriously.
Type it in the comments.
Yeah, like,
I think maybe the only thing that I can add on is like, obviously there's like a discrepancy between how we're living our lives and how the Tunde guy was living his life at that time. But I think even in both scenarios, there is, what's the word?
Like a lesson?
Yeah, there's a lesson to be learned. Like there should be encouragement for all areas of a child's life. Yeah. And not just one. Obviously, Korede said this already. But we can understand why in Tunde's context, there was a push for a vocational type of degree. Because, I mean, we know about back home. We know like how... Like, what's the easiest way for you to get out of the hood, basically?
It's by securing yourself an education and a degree that's going to get you...
That's the world. That's the key. What is it? The oyster. The world becomes your oyster when you have secured that type of
what
degree.
is she talking about?
Guys, sorry, it was in my brain. It was loading.
No, you articulated the world, but the world does become your oyster at that stage. Yeah. But the landscape might be changing.
Yeah, it might be.
With the uprise of things
as
like
we have said,
technology, social media, and all of those things.
Everything.
The landscape is changing, and everybody should buckle up.
Buckle up.
Yeah, there's going to be some skill sets that people need that will surprise and shock you. Like that require you to have a creative skill set. In order to, I don't know, give you an edge, if you will. Because, like, there are some jobs. I can't remember who we were talking to the other day at church Bible study, and he was saying, like, not that his job is mundane, but it's like his skill set doesn't mean that he's saving lives. Like, don't get me wrong, he's paid well, he lives in the he works in the corporate world, but like, there are some skills that he doesn't get to tap into that some people might be able to in their everyday jobs. So, and
he was leaning more to like the creative skills, which is like, guys, if you,
it's what keeps your job exciting.
Has an element of creativity in them. Tap into it, see what works for you. You don't have to make money from it. It can be a hobby, but don't let your life be so, what's the word, attached to your accolades. There needs to be more to you.
Absolutely.
I think we can wrap it up there.
Let's draw a line under it.
But thank you guys for listening to this episode. It's a real different one. But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed that. We hope you can take some gems. We hope that you can take some gems from that episode. I have to slow down my English. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, share. All of that.
Thank you.
Love you.
Mwah. Bye, guys.